has contributed more than other persons contesting for the presidency. Tinubu said Nigeria has all it takes: brilliance, resources, focus, but lacks the know-how to run the race and gear off the process. He also stated that his joy will not be full if Nigeria's passport is not one that he will be proud of, or stating that he was pushing for the support of former speakers and their deputies for him to be elected president of Nigeria in 2003, as he says, he has all it takes to make Nigeria prosperous. Now, according to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has done it in the past in Lagos State, and he can replicate it with Nigeria as a whole. Now, can he really do as he says? Join us to discuss this tonight on Plus Politics. We'd like to say welcome to Francis Chilaka and Shola Oyekomi. They're both political analysts. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. We have... So what do you say, sir, regarding the assertion by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who's one of the aspirants under the APC, that Nigeria needs him? Does Nigeria need Tinubu? Let's start from there.
Let me start by saying that, yes, Bola Tinubu as a Nigerian, going by the flawed 1999 constitution, has a right to contest for the presidency of this country. But for me, I would say this, that we should grow above situations where we think that everything about this country revolves around one man, or it revolves around you because you feel that you fought for democracy, so you say, you feel you've been one-time governor, and then you feel that the next thing is to become a president. It is normal during political campaigns and all of that for politicians to say all sorts of things, make all sorts of promises, but when the chips are on ground, we begin to find out that everything they have said is just talking and talking and talking. Now, for Bola Tinubu to have said this, I would say that I don't see what Bola Tinubu is bringing new to the system, because he's already part of this government that is going out. He's the national leader of the APC, and he's also, in the kitchen cabinet of this administration. So if Nigerians are not happy with what has played out with APC in the last 7 years plus or thereabout, I wonder what he's really bringing new. And I wonder why he feels, that Nigerians really, really need him. What Nigerians need right now is a young, vibrant leader, a man with focus, a man with vision.
All right, young, vibrant leader, a man with focus and a man with vision. Thank you, Francis Chilaka. Shola Oyekomi is on joining us via phone. Shola, do you agree with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who says he is well educated, he is sound, and he has what it takes to fix Nigeria, and Nigeria needs him? Shola, are you there, please?
Yeah, I'm here. My position on what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said when he met with the press is, well, I think he has the right. First of all, let's establish that contest, just like any Nigerian, has the right to contest for elective office. And the fact that he has also been a two-time governor of Lagos and a former senator in Lagos State also gives him some bragging rights, to say what he says. But whether I agree with him or not is neither here nor there, because anyone who is vying for a position actually has the right to sell himself, to market himself, and to sell himself, in order to be able to get what he wants at the end of the day. I think that when Bola is already in campaign mode, so you would hear such things from him, just like you will hear from other aspirants or candidates who are contesting for either the presidency or other elective positions that are open in the forthcoming 2023 general election. So, I mean, to ask me if I agree with him is trying to put me on the spot right now. However, the man is in campaign mode, so it is expected that we hear, such a thing from him. There's no surprises there. There's no what he has done.
Shola, sorry to interrupt you. Yes, Shola, sorry to interrupt you, but I want a point-blank answer from you, your opinion. Just like Francis Chileka says, Nigerians need a young and visionary leader. Of course, a visionary, we can talk about that as far as Tinubu is concerned. He said he's visionary. Young, he certainly ain't young. Does, in your opinion, Nigeria need Bola Ahmed Tinubu as its president?
Well, I will just be very upfront. Nigeria needs everybody, every Nigerian. We all have different roles too. We've had examples of leaders in this country, presidents in this country who have been president and things have gone wrong. We have examples of servants or regular Nigerians, market experts and all that, who have gotten things right, and others who have gotten things wrong. So the truth is that Nigeria needs every Nigeria for Nigeria to succeed. But to ask me if Nigeria needs Bola Ahmed Tinubu just like Bola Ahmed Tinubu has saying, yes, Nigeria needs him. But the question is, does Nigeria need him as our president? That is for the electorate to answer. And that question will be answered at the 2023 elections. What actually Bola Ahmed Tinubu talked about, said, there's a context in which all need to understand. He was speaking to speakers and former speakers who are APC members. And whatever he said to them, he was saying it towards getting the ticket of the party to contest for the presidency.
All right, all right. Back to you, Francis. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has previously said, especially at the time when he went to pay that famous visit to Mr. President at Aso Rock Villa to inform Mr. President of his decision to contest for the position for the ticket of the presidential ticket of the APC. He also did say that he was not yet ready to inform Nigerians. So we're still waiting for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to tell Nigerians that he wants to be president. But he said one thing which was striking, that this has been a dream for him as an individual. This has been a dream for him to be the president of Nigeria. So looking at that statement, his intent, his dream, his desire to be the president of Nigeria, is this, in your opinion, from your analysis of all he said then and now, is this more about Bola Ahmed Tinubu fulfilling his lifelong dream for that satisfaction, or Nigerians actually needing him amidst the situation in the country?
Well, when a man wakes up from sleep and washes his face and comes out and greets the public, you know that, yes, he's doing that, conscious of his environment. Bola Tinubu has been very conscious of his environment. He's been very articulate. He's been very sincere with himself and those who have been listening to him. He has come out to tell Nigerians that his life dream is to be the president of this country. So whatever anybody says doesn't matter to him. It's not about Nigerians. And this is where I have a problem with his candidacy or his aspiration. It's not about the people. It's about him. It's about greed. It's about selfishness. He's talking about himself, that this is his dream. Everybody is entitled to a dream. But when your dream begins to consume you, you begin to lose the reality of what is going on. Nigerians today are tired of people who want to be leaders because it is their dream. Nigerians today are looking for leaders who would take them out of what we found ourselves in. We're looking for a leader who can stand upright to defend the lives and properties of Nigerians. If you open the newspapers every day, you on your television, you on your radio, what do you hear? All you hear is about killings, death, kidnapping. So Nigerians are looking for somebody who has a solution and not somebody whose dream is to become a president. Because what it means is that once he's made the president, he goes back to sleep to continue his dream. But we don't want a dreamer. We want somebody who would be able to match words for action.
Shola Yekomi, do you agree with Francis Chilaka on that point, of Bola Ahmed Tinubu having this lifelong dream and ambition? Do you think it's more about fulfilling that ambition or actually rising to the occasion because Nigerians need him? Shola?
Well, it's difficult to agree or disagree. Other speaker, especially. What I can just tell you, what I know and I have faith is that yes, it is true that Aswai has told us after informing President Muhammadu Buhari that he intends to seek for election. I mean, he has to go for election for the office of the president. And he also made us know that it is lifelong ambition. That is on one side. The other side, to answer the question, or ask the question, if actually Bola Ahmed Tinubu is qualified, yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's qualified to run for justice of president. Because number one, if he's of age, there's nothing that stops him constitution from contesting. If you look at his age, his qualification in terms of education, yes, over time he has contested for that before, and he must have submitted some professional qualifications, which allows him, as the constitution, for him to run for the president right now. In terms of experience, he has that experience. But now, what people are talking about, are looking for a young and visionary leader and all that. I've heard that. I mean, I believe it's rhetoric. Whether Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu becomes president or another person becomes president, I'm not bothered about that. I'm not bothered about somebody who emerged as our president and turn things around. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been part of the government of APC since 2015. Yes, he didn't hold a political office or political appointment, but he has been the national leader of the APC. He's one of the pioneer members of the APC, one of the leading founders of the APC. So, which means that whatever it is that has gone right in the last 7 years, whatever it is that has gone wrong in the last 7 years, he's part of that whole team, and I'm sure he shares in that collective responsibility for our failures or our successes or our achievements as Nigeria, as Nigeria, and as haven't been achieved by whatever it is that this government has achieved or are still doing. We need to start focusing on these issues. And I believe Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other aspirants should start talking about the issues. The number one issue in Nigeria right now is the issue of security. Number two is the issue of the economy, which has taken a downturn. And that's very serious. The inflation, galloping inflation that we have right now is killing Nigerian businesses, that kills the middle class entirely, and the masses are suffering. Nigerians are more impoverished than they were in 2014. Things are really bad. I would expect that, the aspirants, in particular, will start speaking to those issues right now and leave the issue of, whether they are qualified or not. I mean, we know he's qualified, we know he's ready. But let him start telling us how to do things differently from the way things have been done in the last 7 years. I mean, we know why we are here. We know that the situation is bad. And we need to move forward and move out of this bad situation that we are in right now.
All right.
So let us raise the issues. Thank you.
All right. I'll stay with you, Shalo Yekomi. Of course, like you said, rightly so, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was speaking at an event held in Lagos for current and past speakers and deputy speakers elected on the platform of the APC. That event was held in Lagos, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu was governor from 1999 to 2007, and he made a spared no effort in reminding or informing those at that event and all who cared to read the reports that he has all it takes to make Nigeria prosper, that he had done it in the past in Lagos State, and that he could replicate it in Nigeria as a whole. Shala Yekomi, did Bola Ahmed Tinubu radically transform Lagos and make it prosperous in his 8 years in office as governor? And what legacy did he leave behind?
Well, thank you very much for that question. I think I've been in Lagos when Bola Ahmed Tinubu became governor of Lagos State. I'm still here. My experience over the years, from successive governments, has shown that yes, there have been some successes and there have been some failures. Yes, Bola Tinubu, as governor of Lagos State from 1999 to 2007, did do a lot. He succeeded in some areas. But on the other hand, I would say that he didn't quite achieve some of the things that he set out to achieve. One of the things he did was also to have a good succession plan, which has been executed perfectly by his party.
Are you seriously? Shola Yekomi, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, Shola, are you there? Yeah. Are you telling us that the achievement of Bola Tinubu as governor of Lagos State was to have a good succession plan? Are you presenting that to Nigerians as his legacy or scoremark of achievements, record of achievements as governor in Lagos State?
What I can tell you is that that is one of his achievements, one of his noticeable achievements that we can actually point to immediately. The other is the issue of the externally generated revenue that was moved from 600 million, when he got into office and became what it is today, which is about 40 billion per month or thereabout. I do not hold brief for Asoibola Tinubu. I cannot speak to him, speak for him rather. I'm sure there are people who serve in the government, spokesperson and campaign officials who can actually speak for him as regards his achievements. But what I'm saying is that the man has a pedigree. He ran a Lagos State that became one of the most performing states in the country.
Okay, Shola, you're saying that Bola Tinubu had a good succession plan. I've written that down. That was his achievement. Then you're saying that he was able to increase the internally generated revenue in Lagos State. But Lagos State, he came in to meet no civilian administration. So they were starting from scratch. So when you say he increased the IGR, you want to compare that to military era?
Well,
what's the benchmark?
I wouldn't want to compare that to military era. But you cannot say that it started from scratch. Because you cannot tell me that Lagos State was not generating revenue before 1999.
Yeah, but are you benchmarking that against the military administration?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whether it's the military administration or whether it's like, my dad not selling oil because under the military, he did not experience oil boom under the military, or not generating revenue under the military.
So what was the IGR used for? Because I'm also expecting you to tell me these are his achievements. Apart, generating internally increased internal revenue is not really an achievement. It's about what you use, what that enables you to do. So what did Bola Tinubu, in his 8 years as governor, use that increased IGR to accomplish?
Which is what I told you earlier on. I do not hold brief for Bola Tinubu. I will not speak for him as regards his achievements. But I can only point out that I like those things that are noticeable, which anybody in the public can actually say that was achieved under his administration. So I won't go down and start telling you he did this.
No, but that is what this is about. Shola Yekomi, that is what this is about. If you're saying that, it seems you're struggling and clutching, to try and get something to put out as his achievements. And I'm asking you again, what did he achieve? Because he's told his legislators that Lagos State became prosperous and he can replicate that in Nigeria. Now, the viewers are listening, are watching, and these are the voters who have to decide. You're an analyst. In your opinion, you live in Lagos State. What did he do? Number one, you said he had a good succession plan, and that is an achievement. Okay. Number two, you said he increased internally generated revenue. I asked you, what is that benchmarked against that? You've answered the question. Number three, I asked, what was the increased IGR used to achieve? Because increasing IGR on its own is not an achievement, except you use it to do what it's supposed to be used for.
Okay. What I can tell you is, on that last point that you mentioned, on what the IGR was used for, there are several infrastructure developments that took place in Lagos State. Roads were built, schools were built, residential estates were built. There was it said, what do you call it, the one in the regulatory where capital is behind me right now, that was also done. There were several other things that were done, regards education as well, especially education, and other developments that were done.
All right. Shola, before I go, before I go to our next back to Francis, what did maybe let's look at Fashola who succeeded Tinubu. What were Fashola's achievements as governor of Lagos State?
Fashola's achievements as governor of Lagos State?
Yes.
There was a lot that was achieved under Fashola. It was well appointed by negotiation for infrastructural development as well.
Give me
for
some.
Roads and administration as well, in terms of administration. Because we know that a lot of agencies were set up under him. Certain services, social services were provided put in place under him as well. So one could speak to a lot of things that were also
just throw some of them at me. Maybe give me a few of what Fashola achieved.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, so what are these things that Fashola did?
Oh, I mentioned some of them already. I said a lot of social services that were put in place. Some of the agencies and practitioners that were set up under him. The rule of law, the judiciary, and all that. A lot of things were done under Fashola. There was also infrastructure. Roads were built, roads were expanded. There was also development as well. That was on the current Lagos roads that the project was started under Fashola.
Thank you, Shola. It was just a test to see how easy it was going to be for you to reel out the accomplishments of Fashola's governor, of Babatunde Fashola's governor of Lagos State, because when it came to Tinubu, there were lots of arms coming from you, which means that you were sort of struggling to put some things out apart from increased IGR, and you started from a succession plan, which to me is not an achievement anyway. But you're entitled to your opinion. But it was easier. Shola, it was easier for you to reel out. I'm sure if I gave you a full scap or a plain sheet A4 to write down Fashola's achievement, you find it easier doing it in shorter time than Tinubu. So what is the brouhaha about? Maybe Fashola should be the one vying for president. I don't know. So that's why I asked you, what transformation did he accomplish as governor of Lagos State that he wants to replicate in Nigeria? But you've answered and you gave me only two, three. You talked about IGR, infrastructure, including some schools and all that. But you were finding it hard to. But I'll go to Francis Chilaka. Francis, what do you say about this whole talk that he was able to transform Lagos State and he'll replicate that in Nigeria?
Well,
what
when
is
you talk
Tinubu's
about
legacy?
Transformation, when you talk about transformation, I've always been asking people, what are the transformation that he did, because the only thing I noticed that was transformation was the fight he had with the federal government, creating extra local governments, and insisting on it. But in terms of infrastructure, I don't see any. We need to tell ourselves the truth. My problem with all the governors we've had in all the 36 states is that they are always too quick and too eager to talk about their successes, which is known to them alone, and the people don't know it. Like you rightly said, if we talk about Fashola, you see, when people talk about a succession plan, I laugh. When Mr. Peter Obi finished his tenure as governor of Anambra State, he had a succession plan, and that was Obiano. What came out of it? It's not about succession plan. It's about the individual, what the person has to offer, the vision and the mission statement of the individual. So it has nothing to do with anybody saying, "Oh, I made him governor. I made you." You can make somebody governor, and the person will embarrass and disgrace you. You can make somebody governor, and then the person would come out with his whole heart to know that he is working for the people. For me, I don't have anything against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but I'll say this to him, if he would listen. Bola Ahmed Tinubu would have been better staying as a political leader, somebody of his own courage, somebody people can come to. Since he's a man that has so much knowledge about politicking and staying in power and how to win elections.
All right.
That would have been a thing for him too. But at his age now, Nigeria is not looking for somebody of his age. We're looking for people that are younger.
All right.
We're moving in the 21st century where everything has gone computerized. So we're looking for somebody who has that energy to dissipate,
right.
that energy to
Francis,
bring forth, to
Francis
bring Nigeria
Chilaka.
to limelight.
Yeah. Do you feel that the gentleman Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Jagaban, as he's called, and his supporters and his admirers are always eager to shine on the achievements of Fashola?
Yes, well, that is because that is what is playing out. That is what is playing out. Everybody saying, "Oh, he made Fashola a governor," and everything Fashola did was as Bola Tinubu planned it. And then I asked myself, if that is it, we all know who made Mr. President today the president of this country. Bola Tinubu was part of those who made him the president. How come he has not been able to, bring the same knowledge, the same wisdom, the same strength into this present government? How come he has not been able to do that? So it's like I said earlier, it's a different thing for you to say you've made somebody a governor, you've made somebody a president. The thing is that person has his own free will to decide how he wants to move. Fashola could have come and been like any other governor, like the ones we have presently, but Fashola came and he worked, and people saw a man with a lot of energy, a youthful man that had a vision and that had the political will to change a lot of things. That is what Nigeria needs now. We need somebody who has the political will to take decisions and save Nigerians, protect the lives and property of Nigerians.
All right. Back to you, Shola Yekobi. Shola, do you feel that it's right for Asiwaju and his supporters and admirers to take credit for the achievements of Babatunde Raji Fashola, who was his successor?
Why not? Why not? Have you forgotten that Fashola was Bola staff? Have we forgotten so soon? Have we forgotten that popular call within the party, Bola Tinubu pushed Raji Fashola for the ticket of government in 2007? Have we forgotten so soon that Raji Fashola and Bola Tinubu belong to the political party? Oh, why can they not claim credit for whatever they are doing?
All right, but you're talking about what we shouldn't forget, Shola.
Why can they not claim credit for whatever Governor Sowolu is achieving right now?
All right, so Shola,
Shola,
can you also remember, Shola, that
it's a collective responsibility.
Shola, should we remember that Fashola was lucky to even go for a second term after this political altercation with Tinubu, who had to later accept all the pleas, and Fashola was able to go for a second term.
But eventually, Tinubu supported Fashola for a second term in office.
Okay, all right. That being said, since we're talking about taking credit, should Tinubu also take credit for the failures we're seeing in Lagos State in recent years? Agberos everywhere on the streets. The motorcycles that were and Okadas that were banned are back on the streets. Increased insecurity, empowerment of Agberos and touts who are harassing commercial drivers and private drivers on the streets, and the fritting away and the decay of the infrastructures of state that you mentioned that Fashola set up that are going down. Lagos State is becoming dirtier by the hour. The traffic situation in Lagos State is terrible. So should Tinubu take credit for that as well?
Yes. It's a collective responsibility. I said that earlier when we started conversation. I made it very clear. As when Bola Tinubu had a very successful plan, but he has managed to ensure that the people are elected as governor after him. So whatever failings or achievements that have come with those elections or with those administrations, he is responsible as well as whoever became governor is also responsible. Their party, APC, is responsible. It's a collective responsibility. But he should be given credit for whatever achievement and should also be held responsible for whatever failure as of course oversight.
Thank you very much, Ashala Yekomi, for your time. I sincerely appreciate it. Francis Chilaka as well, sincerely appreciate it. And both of them are political analysts, and they've been our guests on the first topic right here on Plus Politics. Thank you, gentlemen. And thank you for staying with us. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared about 45% of new voter registrations invalid. This is up for discussion when we return.
Everybody wants new Nigeria. Nobody wants to continue with this rusted system that is not working for anybody except those who are in government and their cronies and people around them. And when we go to the New Nigeria People's Party, we are happy with the New Nigeria and we are happy with New Nigeria People's Party. And you see, we are not only looking for party with the majority of people. We were looking for a party that has a potential of receiving people who are of like minds. The party is very much concerned about the security in this country. Security is key. In fact, in the past, we were taking security for granted because we believe that every responsible government, not only in Nigeria, but across the country, will ensure the security of lives and properties. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in this country that the government in power cannot really say that they have done that. We have seen what happened just recently from here to Kaduna, where the train was attacked. So many people were killed, some were being injured. Many people were being taken into the bush. As we are speaking now, they are there with the bandits. Only God knows what is happening to them. We have seen young men and women, especially the young doctor that we have seen.
Welcome back. It's still Plus Politics. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that it discovered over 1.3 million invalid registrations in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise. The Commission also said the figure amounted to 44.6% of the 2.523 million completed registrations. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said this during a press conference in the nation's capital, Abuja. According to him, the figure was from completed registration starting from June 2021 to January 14, 2022. Now, while describing the development as worrisome, the INEC boss cited multiple registration failure of the automated biometric identification system and incomplete data as the reasons for the invalid voter registrations. Yakubu also said the infraction happened in all the states of the Federation. Now, joining us to discuss this is, I'm glad to say, Festus Okoye, who is the National Electoral or the National Commissioner of Information and Voter Education at INEC. Mr. Okoye, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
These are indeed worrying statistics. I saw the infographic that INEC put up, and I think INEC has been doing well in getting these infographics up so that it can be easy for the public to understand. I saw it entering my WhatsApp this afternoon, and I was shocked to see 44.6% nationally. Please take us through the reasons. I know that this has been put out by the National Chamber, but please take us through the reasons why we're having these number of invalid registrations.
Well, it's really not new. Since the Commission introduced the biometric voter registration exercise, we've been having invalid registrations. If you recall, in 2019, when the commission, in 2011, beg your pardon, in 2011, when the commission concluded the voters registration exercise, we discovered a total of 4,239,923 invalid registrations. Now, as we were heading towards the 2015 general election, we also carried out the CVR, and that brought the total figure of registered voters to 69,720,350. And it went down, because previously what we had was 73,528,040. Now, just before the 2019 general election, the commission also conducted the CVR exercise, and we registered a total of 15,317,872. But out of this number, we had a total of 1,034,141 invalid registrations. And that brought the total number of registered voters for the 2019 general election to 84 million. Now, for this particular exercise, we started on the 28th day of June 2021. We had a two-track process. One track involved physical registration, which we did in our state and local government offices, while the second track involved a pre-registration using our online portal. So it is a combination of all these registrations that led to this particular figure you are seeing. Now, most of these invalid registrations came from persons who lost their PVCs. And rather than going to go and report that they lost their PVCs, they went and registered afresh. The second relates to persons whose PVCs have been damaged. Rather than report damaged PVC, they went and registered afresh. The third involved registrants who wanted to transfer from one state to the other. Rather than engage in transfer, they registered afresh. Unfortunately for most of these people, we have a robust cleaning up system involving an automated biometric identification system, ABIS, which not only identifies your fingerprint, but also identifies your facial. And so wherever you are, wherever you have run to, or whichever state you have moved to, it is able to identify you. So this accounts for some of these multiple registrations that we have had, and it's really, really unfortunate.
Indeed, really unfortunate, like you said. I'm just going through the infographic, and I'm seeing that, Mr. Koy, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm sure you have, and that we have all the the states that are above 50% in terms of the invalid votes in the southern part of the country. I'm not trying to create a situation of north versus south here, but it's just what I've observed. And most of them are in the Niger Delta. So we're looking at Bayelsa State with 67.1% invalid registrations. Cross River State, South again, 51.3%. You have Delta State, 50.1%. And you have River State, 53.2%. These are in the South. Now, one in the Southeast, which is the second highest, Ebonyi State, 60.1%. Is there anything surrounding this?
Well, this particular figure represents the figure for the first and second quarter of the registration process, the CVR process, which the first quarter ran from 28th day of June 2021 to 21st day of September 2021, while the second quarter of the CVR ran from 4th October to 20th December 2021, and ending on this fourth, the figure we have as at the 14th January 2022. Now we have done the third quarter voters CVR, and now we are in the fourth quarter. So the figures keep fluctuating. But what is important, what is fundamental, and what is troubling is that we have invalid registrations in all parts of the country. As the chairman pointed out, no part of Nigeria, no state of Nigeria is immune from this voters registration exercise. But as you see, the voters registration exercise, you can see that the figure we have for the third quarter is different from the figure we have for the second quarter, and it will definitely be different from the figure we are going to have for the fourth quarter, for the fourth and last quarter. And for this fourth and last quarter, we have devolved the registration process to the registration areas. And you know, we have 8,809 registration areas in Nigeria, and we are devolving on a rotational basis from one registration area or what to the other. And so the figures will keep on fluctuating and keep on changing. But I think what should be emphasized and what is fundamental and what is valid is the fact that the invalid registrations cost across all states of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Koyi. So are you saying that these figures I'm reading out are for just 2 quarters, or they are for...
Yes, exactly. They're just for the first and second quarter. We are yet to clean up the data for the third quarter, and the fourth quarter is presently ongoing, and we end on the 30th day of June 2022.
Okay, all right. So this is us at 14th January 2022.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm also seeing that we have 2.53 or 523 million registrations. Bearing in mind the population of the country, what struck me when I looked at these figures in the morning was that I thought it would be higher.
Yes, that is our expectation. But without sounding pedantic and without being pedantic, you know that sometimes we Nigerians, we leave everything to the last moment. If you go to our registration centers now, especially at the state, local government, and the registration area levels, you will see that the surge has started because people know that we are in the last quarter of voters' registration exercise. And I can assure you that when we get to 2 weeks to the end of this particular exercise, you will see a deluge. So it is consistent with the way we do things in this country.
Okay.
Bear in mind that this voters' registration exercise has been ongoing for 9 months. But if you go to the registration areas now, you will see the surge of people coming to register because we are in the last quarter. So I can assure you that this figure will jump as we proceed towards the finishing line of this CVR. It's
really sad reality. I mean, we're seeing this last-minute attitude with the national identification number and SIM card linkage, and we just hope that our compatriots can learn to do things early enough. I was going to ask, is it that INEC is not, enlightening the public enough? But I'm aware of the efforts that INEC has made to put information out through different means. So I want to ask that question. So why are people still not doing the right thing? You're talking about those who've lost their PVCs going to get new cards, those who have damaged PVCs going to get new cards, those who are wishing to transfer from one place to the other, just walking in and doing their registration. So what should be the right thing in these 3 scenarios so that people do not keep putting up invalid registrations? What do they need to do? If your PVC is lost, that's number 1, and you want to replace it. If you get a new one, if your PVC is damaged and you want to get a new one, or if you'd like to transfer your polling unit from one location to the other.
Well, you see, you don't really need to do much. If you have lost your PVC, what you need to do is to get an affidavit from the court indicating that you have lost your PVC. And the moment you come with that particular affidavit, what we will now do is to call up your data, because your data already exists on our database. We already have your data. We call up your data and then input the fact that you have lost your PVC, and we schedule you for another permanent voter's card. But if you go and start a fresh registration, at the end of the day, our cleaning up process will show us that you registered before, and we will delete you, and your second registration will be invalid. If your PVC has been defaced, the only thing you need to do is to report that your PVC has been defaced and it is no longer readable and is no longer usable. We will print a new one for you. You really don't need to do anything. If you have moved from one state to the other, the only thing you need to do is to report that you have moved from one state to the other and that you want to transfer your polling unit and your PVC to a new location. And we will just transfer you to a new location. You don't have to go and begin to carry out registration afresh. But some Nigerians do not really want to just go to the court to go and get that particular affidavit and pay the token fee that they normally pay in court. And then we also found out that there were some Nigerians that some couldn't remember which one, whether during their previous registration they used their surname first or they used their first name first, and so on and so forth. And so because they couldn't remember, they just simply say, oh, since I can't remember, let me just go and register afresh so that I don't engage in jeopardy. But at the end of the day, you get into jeopardy. So what you need to do is to go and do the right thing. Those who we have asked, those we have classified their registrations as still valid. Their previous registrations are still valid. So what they need to do is to go back to our INEC state or local government office or to the registration areas and do the right thing. And then we will validate the right thing they have done. But if they persist in doing the wrong thing, thinking that we are not going to be aware of it, our processes have become robust. Our identification system identifies both the fingerprint and the facials. So no matter how you want to beat the system will not allow itself to be beaten.
All right. Interesting. Before we go, I'd like to bring up the very unfortunate development that has emanated in the last few hours in Imo State today with your continuous voter registration exercise. We hear some activity, some violence in Ihite, Uboma, local government area of Imo State. Can you tell us what happened in Imo State?
Well, that from the 11th day of April this year, we devolved the continuous voters registration exercise to the registration area levels, or what you call ward level, on a rotational basis. Okay. So some of our staff, we are doing the CVR in Ihitu Boma local government, more particularly in where they call Nkwa Ihite in PU 004 in Amakohia Ward RA02. When they were attacked by some unknown gunmen. Unfortunately, one of our staff by name Nwokori Anthony lost his life in the process. He has been moved to the morgue. And then the remaining two staff that we couldn't locate initially have now been located. They have injuries, but are in very stable condition. So that is the situation as of today. And so many of the potential registrants, we are injured in the process.
Oh my.
So consequently, we have suspended the registration process in the Ihitu Boma local government.
Sincere condolences, Mr. Okoye, to you, INEC, indeed the family of this individual, Nwokori Anthony, as you said, who was shot by gunmen. So this is a suspension of the exercise in that local government area or in the entire Imo State?
We suspended the registration in that particular local government. Prior to this particular period, the commission was not doing CVR in Osu local government and in Jaba local government. While in Oru East, Oru West, Olu and Ohaji Egbema local governments, we are doing the CVR only in our state and local government offices. And it's really a very sad development. And if you look at the figures that we have been releasing, you can see that the figure for Imo State is either the last in the federation or the second to the last. And it's a very, very unfortunate development. We feel that people who want to register should be allowed to register and exercise their democratic franchise at the right time.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Festus Okoye. We definitely will be having you on this program in subsequent weeks as we look at what's happening as we count down towards the 2023 election. So thank you and for joining us and for the good work you're doing.
I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you. And thanks for staying with us right here on Plus Politics. To round up today's show, Nigerians tell us their opinions on Bola Ahmed Tinubu running for presidency. Plus Politics returns tomorrow. I'm Kofi Bartels. Good night.
It's majority that can carry the vote, not only me. People should run for the president. I don't think anything bad in it, but there's going to be an issue, most especially Lagos State, which I know.
It's the capital letter no. Capital letter no thing. No option for him to run, man. Still same people, same old leaders, you know. He's still going to take us back, you understand? So we just want to move forward.
There's a lot of youth that can rule the state and that can make things happen better. There are at least a lot of youth. Tinubu has ruled Lagos State. I believe in my own opinion, I believe he wants to go up there again, but he's older. Tinubu is old already. Let the youth, at least one of the youth should rule us, and let's see how the difference between the youth and the adult.
Yes, I mean, Tinubu can run for presidency. He's from Nigeria, so he have every right to run. So the power depends on you. If you like, you can vote for him. If you like,
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on PlusTvAfrica.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Who would have thought that the faith of Leah Sharibu would make a nation struggle for survival?
Who would have thought that a line from the Bible would be stronger than a rifle and make this girl just to die down to the night? She is the hero of faith.
Heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross of the word, not riches untold. When all is said and done, their light keeps shining on and on and on. Who would have thought that 4 years would go by and the nations would stand by in silence and pretend no wrong was done?
Who would have thought that no amount of darkness can quench the smallest light? Oh, daughter of Zion, keep shining on. You're the hero of faith.
Heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross and the word, not riches untold. When all is said and done, their light keeps shining on.
Shining, shining, shining. Oh, shine a light.
Something about the Lord. His love is his power, and there is no lover that can give his life and die for his friends. Something about the Lord. His kingdom is forever. happiness, peace and joy. He is the hero of faith. Oh, heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross and the word, not riches untold. When all is said and done, their light keeps shining on. Shining on. Heroes of faith, the scar from the battle is their greatest title, not silver or gold. Heroes of faith, their greatest reward is the cross and the word, not riches untold. When all is said and done, their light keeps shining on. Their light keeps shining on. Their light keeps shining on. Their light keeps shining on.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs,